Welcome to another session of building DadBod. Today the goal is to build some multiplayer weapons that don't bog down the server, don't lag it out, so that we can get 4, hopefully maybe 6 people in here at the same time in the game at the same time. It's gonna be awesome. I got my daughter with me. I should have said with daughter. Would have been fun. She might want to eat partway through this, so if she starts screaming, I will go and get her food that I've just warmed up. She hasn't eaten in like 3 hours or more, so and she's been getting a little bit fussy. I'm keeping her asleep with my body heat in her favorite position. We'll see. We'll see if she stays asleep. I don't think she will. But if I get 30 minutes in and she wants to eat, I'll probably stop. I also have my breakfast here. Not a great breakfast, but a good one. Getting crumbs on her. Alright. Lean further back so she's more comfy. Let's get to it. So, we want to build. Excuse me, we want to build some weapons. Some multiplayer weapons. Now, right now, all the weapons that I have are auto-firing. So if we take a look at an example for the paid I've got, it has this timer component that auto-fires, that just automatically calls an attack on this weapon component. So timer component calls weapon attack every 0.1 seconds. So we don't really want that anymore. I would like to shift these weapons from being an auto-fire to player driven. So the player is the one shooting, attacking, moving, instead of Vampire Survivors kind of anti-bullet hell-esque game. And one of the main reasons for that is, well, I feel like in multiplayer games, people really like it when they have control of their character and can use their character to outplay others. And there's lots of roguelites that are similar to this. Risk of Rain is a great example, I think, of kind of what I'm going for, where people can gain power-ups that enhance their character's capacity, but they have complete control over their character and the abilities that the character uses at any given point in time. So that's my current goal. So for now, I'm going to turn this Tade Actually, I'm going to duplicate it. And instead of Tate, I'm going to call it Tate Sniper. Projectile as one. That. There we go. So the first thing that we really need to do to make these weapons multiplayer is we need to make this attack be an RPC function, so that when I attack, when I call it, it actually it signals to all the clients, hey, we're attacking. So that kind of leads us to, yeah. So we need to probably have a layer of, I'm going to call it abstraction, between the RPC function and an actual attack function that the owner will call. And the reason we need that is because I'll just thinking through the different cases. Let's say we have this auto fire, for example. I don't want, if I have a machine gun, I want to tell everyone when I pulled the trigger, and that's it, so that all the clients can spawn the bullets on my behalf, and then the server can reconcile who actually gets hit. Right? That's what is really happening at the end of the day, is that the server is reconciling who actually gets hit. Most games don't really care about syncing all of the little bullets that you're shooting. Halo, for example, machine guns that everyone has, it's not syncing all those bullets. That's just too much information to push across the pipe. So what it does is it just syncs, oh, you started attacking, you finished attacking. That's all we care about. The server reconciles who actually gets hit, who actually died, etc. Now, that's not 100%, so that's a machine gun example. The other example is, and welcome to the newcomers. If you're here, I'd love to know where you're from. But in the machine gun example, so this is my daughter, by the way. She's asleep. If she wakes up for food, I will be abandoning all of you to go and feed her, perhaps. So in the machine gun example, we only want to trigger hey, we fired, we are firing, hey, we're no longer firing. So it's a little bit like a yes, no. Are we shooting, or are we not? And so this attack function should simply kind of flip that variable. The second example, and this is the two most common use cases, there might be similar ones in between, but the second example is a sniper rifle. I click, or I pulled the trigger, we fired one shot. I would like that fired bullet, that ray trace, that line that you commonly see from sniper rifles that show you where the person is firing from. I want to see that line on all clients, and I want that line to be the same for everybody, everywhere. So in that case, we would actually spawn that bullet, that line on all clients. So that's a little bit of a different scenario than the machine gun, because that's just one bullet, right? And the server can handle syncing that one bullet across all clients. So those are the two situations, those are the two scenarios that I would like to tackle and to build a multiplayer weapon for. Because if I can handle both of those, I can build a plethora of weapons on top of that. Single fire, auto fire, semi-auto, right, will all kind of be very similar in concept. So, let's just kind of dive into it. We have this weapon component, so I already have weapons that kind of are available to me. And I am trying to, I want to turn them into multiplayer weapons. So right now the game is syncing all of the bullets, which was my brute force method of let's just get it working. Now I'm going to take the more tactical approach, which is syncing when we're firing, and only syncing bullets for those sniper rifle situations. One. Still asleep. We're good. So let me turn on some music. Let's fetch and get to work, guys. All right. Okay, so just kind of walking us through both of those scenarios. I would like to be able to use the weapon component for both. I think that's not too much of an ask. Um, so basically, we have. I mean, what are the variables we have to work with? What's the information we want to know or need to know in order to know which type of weapon we're working with? And I suspect that as I build this out, okay, we might have to go and get her some food. So she's fighting hard to wake up. Okay, so what are the pieces of information we need to know in order to determine what kind of weapon we have? Um, so sinking the bullet isn't overly difficult. Not too worried about that. Hmm. So we probably want to take a look at this. We've got our equipment component. Got our attack speed. We have auto fire. If auto fire is false, that means that we need to click every single time we want to attack. So we already have the information here that tells us, like, are we a sniper rifle or are we not? If auto fire is true, then it's just going to keep attacking while we are holding the button down. Okay. So, okay. We probably want to change that auto fire to be automatic. And to set it, just have an is attacking. So let's do that. There is attacking. False. And if auto fire is true, then we set is attacking equal to true. Alright. If we are attacking, we can attack. And it's auto fire. I change it to automatic. So automatic, let's get this. Fire. As long as the attack button is on there. So I guess I might have to split this up into multiple components because the inputs are going to be relatively different for both, right? But maybe we can work with something. So the inputs basically are going to be like trigger pull, trigger up. Those are going to be our two inputs. And the sniper rifle, well, only the automatic weapon is going to care about the trigger up. And it's going to change the is attacking from false, from true to false when I let go of the trigger. So we have a check all this. And figure out. Okay. So while the trigger is down, I'm going to say it's attacking villager, and we're going to call is attacking. It's false. I'm not going to do anything. Alright, so, and the physics process, if is attacking is true, and we can indeed attack, then we attack. So that is going to be the functionality, right? Go down, trigger up. I never seen that as a trigger. But this could also be true for like holding a spear, for example. Trigger down might just make you stab in a specific direction. That would be unlikely. I guess I would kind of expect this attack to be called every single time you pull the trigger, and that the spear wouldn't be auto firing. So, okay. Alright, so we got that. Now I'm actually going to say that this is an RPC function. If I'm going to call local, down RPC. Alright, so this will tell everybody, hey, we are attacking. That is what we want to do. Now the trigger up RPC, which will trigger down, which then calls the trigger down RPC, or the trigger up, which calls the trigger up RPC. So now all the clients are aware we have called the function. So, excuse me. Something that we're going to need to do is set the owner of the weapon, whoever's holding the weapon. And that's because this call local can only be called by the server authority. So we're going to need to create a system that sets the server authority of the weapon to whoever has the weapon equipped, so that they can call this function. Just trigger down, trigger up. And then we can respond to it. So Smith creates a projectile. Now, in the sniper scenario, we don't want every client to make a projectile. We only want the server to create a projectile and sync it across all clients. That way the server is still the ruling authority of where bullets actually created. That line that you see, like when someone fires a sniper rifle on Halo, for example, it's created on the server and not really anywhere else. So everyone sees the same thing, which means that so I think I need to have an enum in here of the type of weapons that we can have just to make things nice. So the enum, weapon type, we got melee, we got single fire, automatic, automatic. So that changes things up a little bit. Spawn the projectile on the server. No problem, I forget. All right, guys, we're back. Good one. It's still with us. Right, you didn't steal her away. All right, so we have a single fire weapon. Only spawn the projectile on the server. It was bolt across. Nice. If weapon type right there. river. That's how the spawn projectile looks like. That's to make this nice spawn projectile function, which will basically just be this. I don't know why I have this and actual projectile count is greater than 0. It's the number of projectiles to make it now. All right, so this seems pretty good to me, I think. We'll likely find some bugs in here when we try to do things, but I'm happy with it. That's our weapon component. Hopping back over to our Tade sniper to get rid of our timer component. Use the weapon component attack speed. I'm going to make it like 1 second. I want people to be able to fire every 1 second. Weapon type is single fire. It's good. It is active. We do have an equipment component. Projectile speed. So it creates projectile speed, projectile damage, projectile count, which is 1. Arcade spray. The speed does not really matter. So I'm going to get rid of that. 1 to 0. One of them. And probably going to change. I'm going to change this. Okay. I changed the actual Tade. I did. I want to do good. Close that out. There we go. Rename this Tade sniper. I don't want to mess up anything that I already have working. Got the weapon component again. Right, on clip. Projectile should be 0. Boom. Projectile damage. We're going to set this like 25. So projectile state spray. Yeah, that's fine with me. Oh, I'm A-okay with all of that. Definitely creates projectile. Yeah, the speed is 0 because it's going to be a sniper. I'm not going to have it go anywhere. I'm just going to create a line. Anything on that line is going to get hurt. Then we have a projectile damage. We have a projectile count. Okay. So okay, there's that. Next step is to create. I'm going to keep track of this. Okay. So what you need to happen then. So previously our weapons just kind of auto fired. Now I want the weapons to appear in the hands of the player who's holding it. So we are going to change up how weapons are handled at the player level. And actually more specifically, the Tade sniper, instead of being, it's got equipment component. The equipment type right now is none. I'm going to set it to be just hand left or hand right. So hand right. And we're going to see if my previous systems actually are still in place. Because I did have a system set up so that the hand would point at the mouse. If there was a weapon attached, that said it should point at the mouse. So, that might do something. I don't know. But we're gonna find out. So this item. So takes sniper. Your foes. This take. Alright. My back is getting uncomfy, so we're going to sit up. She might wake up when I do this. Alright. This will be better for you. We're still asleep, guys. We're doing good. I'll keep the camera face down here so you can see. Just get my mouth. Alright. So now, let's tuck that tag in there. Alright, we're back. So sniper foes of the Dade. Call that good. Now we need to make a new item actually over here. So what I made down here was the scene. What I'm making up here is the resource that represents this item, so we can actually store it in our inventory, all that good stuff. So that's the icon. I don't really care about this equipable. It's definitely equipped. The equipped entity will be the sniper. Boom. Okay, so the Dade sniper will spawn so that the projectile is not Dade spray. It's the Dade. Sniper projectile. Boom. Oh. New pooled entity. Okay. So we got our Dade spray here. Oh, that's a pooled entity. Dade sniper projectile. So that's another thing. I have a pool system set up so that spawning. Let's move this up. I need to see my screen. It's nice to be able to see what you guys see. So I have a pool system set up to limit the number or just to recycle entities. So when they die, they don't actually get destroyed. They're just deactivated, and then I reactivate them. And I consider the projectile, like there's going to be lots of different projectiles, and so I want to reuse those instead of recreating them. So that's what this pooled entity does. So we got a pooled entity, Dade sniper projectile, and then in here we have the actual. And here we have the actual entities. Right. I'm going to drag our Dade sniper projectile in there. And boom, there we go. I'm getting these errors every time I save. 100, I do not know what those are for. So far, the app hasn't crashed, so you know I'm happy. This is alarm. When she's asleep, it hangs down and it touches my keyboard. And it moves my mouse. So I have to like hold it on my hand as I type. She doesn't like that very much, so it ends up moving. And then she thinks she's falling, so she freaks out. Now she's like waking up. All right, we got our Tate Sniper projectile. We have our weapon completely set up. We got our Tate Sniper. So Tate Sniper is set up. We just need to wire up the trigger pull function to when the player clicks. So I know that in the player, let's see, we can get rid of this load system, we can get rid of the answer control, we can get rid of the question control. Taking a look at the player, we have this player component, which is all of the inputs, right? So play animation, call local. There are inputs, there are jumps, pause. Okay, so biggest thing that used to be in here that isn't anymore is inputs that would be routed to items. So if we had an equipped item, it would be routed to the item, and it would call this attack function. We want to call the trigger down, trigger up function now, but the idea is the same. So let's go and take a look then. Take a look at our inputs. So we got a project, settings, input map, left mouse button, all devices, and I guess I kind of want to add a new action. So thinking of multiple devices, for example, if I pull a trigger, that would count as a click, right? I'm not only going to be doing left mouse button. If I tap on the screen, for example, there's also that. So those are all things that I kind of have to, that I want to take into account. Let's see. Are we? There we go. All right. Okay, so let's see. We'll just call it action. Action will be mouse buttons, left mouse button, all devices, boom. It'll also be joypad buttons, left stick, right shoulder, left bumper, right bumper. No, I think that's right. Right stick. Maybe we should just stick with buttons for now. Left mouse button works. Okay, so that's our action. Okay. So now we have our action. We can test for it. So if is multiplier authority, if input is action just press. Input is action just released. Action. And additional tabs. No. I think it's almost time for food, guys. Oh. Yeah, definitely time for food. All right, we're gonna stop and we're gonna come back. Have a wonderful day. Awesome Monday, guys. Really appreciate you hopping in, following along, and see you later. Bye.